I am from Nasik, but I do come over here for giving my services to the trust whenever they require it. After finishing the work, I go back to Nasik again. So now I'll tell you how I met Baba first. So I was brought up, born, educated in Pune. After my graduation in engineering college, I joined the service at Nasik as the powerhouse mains and distribution mains engineer. I came to Nasik in the year 1930, October. At that time, I never knew what Baba is and what God is and what God man is and what man God is. Nothing of the sort. It so happened that while I was at Nasik, I accidentally met Behram Irani, who is the Baba's younger brother. And we were together in the same school. Jal, Behram, Adi. Jal was elder to me by about 4 years. Behram was younger to me by about 1.5 years. And Adi was still younger. But we were in the same school and we were studying together. At that time, the strength of our whole school was not more than about 85 to 90 students in whole of the school. So we were in the school together. Afterwards, we separated. I joined college and came to, after my graduation, I came to Nasik. It so happened all of a sudden, one day I met Behram and came to, after my graduation, I came to Nasik. It so happened all of a sudden, one day I met Behram on the road, and so I asked Behram, what are you doing here? So Behram tells me what I am doing there. So we just talked to each other, and then it so happened that Behram took me to the place where they were all residing. At that time they were all, the mandali were at the Circle Cinema, where the cinema was being built up. I met all Pune people there, those whom I knew. There is Pendu was there, Sailor Mama was there, Bua Sahib was there, and all the old people from Pune, they were there, which we knew each other. So there, once in the Circle Cinema, I used to go sit with the mandali. In the afternoon, if they were taking their afternoon dinner, I used to have dinner with them also. So once I was being seated like that, having my dinner, all of a sudden, Baba came over there. He saw who I was, just looked at me, and he just told me that my blessings are there. At that time, I simply laughed. Then they used to respect Baba. They used to bow down, take his darshan. So I used to think in my mind, what is this happening? We never knew that man bowing down to persons like that. So I was just inquiring in my mind, what is this happening over here? I used to just bow down to Baba by saying namaskar. Namaskar is namaskar like that. At that time, there was that one general, that is one book which was brought up every say 3 or 4, every 3 or 4 months there was that Meherabad General, which was being printed in Nasik. And in that article was there. For nearly 6 to 7 months, whenever I used to meet Baba, I used to just say namaskar, and Baba used to say the same thing, but never used to take his darshan. I started reading that Meherabad General, on which the first pamphlet, the first page where you find the tree and the branches all there. And in that everything was mentioned. Baba used to give first article by himself. And in that everything was mentioned. Baba used to give first article by himself. So when I started reading that, I came across what God man is and what man God is. All that. Then it started to my mind that this is something, so many people bowing down to Baba, so there is something in this Baba. Then I came across, so nearly for 6 to 7 months I didn't bow down and took his darshan as people take darshan. I used to say namaskar. After it came to my mind, then I started bowing down to Baba and took his darshan. Then in that books, it was all mentioned about 5 perfect masters and all that. So I started reading those books. I came across there were 5 perfect masters of the time. It was very interesting. So I came across the chapter of Upasni Maharaj and his life. So when I read that life, it was so very inspiring that when I read, I thought, if Baba is so much, what must be his guru? So that prompted me to just go and take his darshan one day. It so happened that in the year 1934, I went to Sakori and saw Upasni Maharaj, took his darshan. In my mind it was only to go over there, take his darshan and come back immediately. But Upasni Maharaj did not allow me to come for nearly 3 days. He said, wait, when I tell you to go, you go. So after 3 days, he told me to go. That was also in the month of November. And then he told me, Upasni Maharaj told me to come and see, to visit him in January 13th or 14th, where they have got a very big occasion over there. So I had been there, and then since then, Upasni Maharaj and we were both very close together. Upasni Maharaj used to come to Nasik, stop at my place while going any further. He used to be at my place for hours together. Sometimes he used to remain at my place for days together. Maximum he had been to my place for 5 days. And then I was with Baba and Maharaj both together. So till then I was with Upasni Maharaj and Baba both together. Baba used to call me to all different places where he used to camp. That is places like Satara, Mamleshwar, Bangalore. And Baba had his Rahuri must ashram. So occasionally I used to come over there to Rahuri, visit him there and go back to Nasik again. Occasionally I used to come to Meherabad, see the mandali. Sometimes I used to remain with them for 2 days, 3 days and go back. So that is how I came in contact with Baba. Baba used to give orders, and in circulars he used to send us, observe fast and observe silence and all that. So whatever orders Baba gave, we both, myself and my wife, we used to observe those orders. Yes, when I used to with Baba, sometimes he used to call me over here at Meherabad, where the Mast ashram was there. And there, Baba used to bathe, and even the toilet was being cleaned by Baba, and the rubbish was also being lifted and thrown away at that time. So at that time I was filled up with emotion, and at that time actually I was crying that Baba is doing such a menial work as that. That was I felt at that time. Stop. Yes, in Nasik when I was there, I was working with my transformer. Once it so happened that a very big spark came out from the transformer, and my hands, fingers and my face, that all got burned. I was immediately shifted to the hospital. My eyes were saved only, otherwise everything had burnt out. And at that time Baba did send me a telegram that my nazar is there. Because my nazar is there, you are saved. That's all.
And what was Baba's nazar?
Nazar means his eyes were there. He was there with me. So that is how he saved me. That is what I take. I was with Upasni Maharaj from 1934 till 1941 or 42 when he dropped his body. And once it so happened that on one very big occasion at Sakori, Sankrant day, when so many people from outside come and they pay respects to him. It happened that on one very big occasion at Sakori, Sankrant day, when so many people from outside come and they pay respects to him. At that time, I was also there along with my wife over there. And people used to come, all ladies one side and all men on another side. They used to come turn by turn, pay homages to the darshan, take Upasni Baba's darshan. So I was also in the queue, and when my turn came, I had taken already darshan. So all of a sudden, Upasni Baba said, "Who is this person? Let me see his face." As soon as I got up, he started abusing me. And that I was taken all of a sudden in such a way that I couldn't imagine myself. I could see him, I could hear his first abusive words, and then even the words I couldn't hear, nor I could recollect how I was there. I was there as if I was being paralyzed, and I didn't know what was happening to me. Some of the people who were behind me, they took me away from that place and made me sit some yards away from that place. For about 2 hours, I didn't know what was happening. So I was so much frightened by this incident that the very next, that I never ventured to go very close to Upasni Baba. But all of a sudden, next day he calls me, and then he just started talking to me, patted me, as if nothing had happened. So these were his ways. In Sakori also, when he was there he used to abuse and beat and do all sorts of things. There never has been a day when he has not abused anybody in a day. or hammered anybody. And as soon as he started hammering or abusing, people never used to stand before him, they used to run away. He every now, occasionally he used to come to Nasik. So once I just asked, Maharaj, why do you give such bad abuses to people who come to you? So he said that I never abuse anybody. He said, then he gave me he told me that Sai Baba, who was a very great personality, a perfect master, he was much more greater than me. He said he used to abuse and hammer persons to such an extent that the words which he used to utter, I cannot utter even through my mouth. And then he took out his tongue between his teeth